This is Paula Stromberg, and she has done an incredible amount of work to put this film together and bring it to Moose Jaw to share with everyone tomorrow night. Paula, let's start by talking a little bit about your brother Ted. What kind of person was he?
Well, the movie talks about him. He was 16 when he took his own life in Moose Jaw, and he was a tall, gangly younger brother, and I was the oldest sister. And he just didn't quite fit in, and so therefore he got in high school. He went to Central Collegiate. He got very bullied by schoolmates, and at home he was bullied. Our father was a bully himself and very hated women and hated kids, and so it was a difficult place to live. But at the same time, my mother was pretty well known. She had a cooking show on CHAB almost every day, and so our family seemed quite glamorous from the outside, but behind closed doors it was a very violent, scary place to live, with everything being covered up. And so my brother didn't have a lot of internal resources. He had nowhere to turn and felt quite hopeless.
Nowadays, there is much more awareness about the difficulties that people can endure with mental health and that type of thing. Was there anything at that time or any way to address some of the struggles that were happening?
My brother was just depressed and felt hopeless and scared, and I also felt very hopeless. I managed to run away from home at 17 and save my own life. But there were no transition houses in those days, and my mother, despite having her own TV show and commentating fashion shows and being the judge of numerous beauty contests and so on in Saskatchewan, felt she wasn't able to support herself and 3 children, so she stayed in that very terrible relationship.
Tell me about the film. Why did you want to make this film?
Well, I spoke to my younger brother who's living in Alberta, and we thought it was a nice full circle, or a nice memory for our brother that we lost so many years ago. And I was prompted to raise the discussion with him because the University of British Columbia was doing a research project on male suicide. And in the course of speaking with them, I had mentioned that I made films, so I decided to make this film for the research team, which they used, and it was part of the UBC presentations on their research findings.
What do you hope will come out of the film being made public, and what kind of help it might offer people?
I think that in unpacking this and telling this story, to stop having so many taboos about needing to go to a transition house, but mainly in telling this story, that it opens a discussion that people can see what they might do better, and addressing bullying and domestic abuse and despair. And through the Canadian Mental Health Association and Journey to Hope, kids like my brother Ted might have somewhere to turn. In those days, there was no support for him at all.
And where can people see the film?
It's playing tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at Crescent Park Event Center on Athabasca Street in Moose Jaw, and admission is free.
Thanks for your time today, Paula.
Thanks, Jill.